It is now June 10th at 9:07 a.m. So, on a Wednesday. So, what I'm gonna do today is an entire week's worth of math homework. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really to say. I'm just gonna do a week's worth of math homework. It's an assignment that's due on Saturday. So yeah, it's covering like the second half of chapter 13. Oh. Okay. Hold on a second. I was about to get distracted by something, but I shall not be distracted. So, yeah. So, assignment 3, I gotta do 20 questions. I gotta read the second half of chapter 13, and hopefully I will be able to finish it in a timely manner. I really want to just finish it in like 3 or 4 hours, but I'm not sure. Last time I did an entire assignment all at once, it took quite a long time. It took like 7 hours. So I'm really hoping I can get through this really efficiently and easily. So let's make it a goal. You know what would be really, really nice is if I could finish it all before like 12 o'clock, which is 3 hours. But that's probably not going to happen, but yeah, I'll try to go as fast as I can. So, first thing we'll be doing is reading section 13.6. And I looked over those 5 questions, and it seems that we'll only have to read the directional derivative part and the gradient of a function of 2 variables part. So, looks like what we'd be doing for these questions is basically find the directional derivative, blah 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 blah, for this, and then for the last part we have find the gradient of the function at the given point. So I will be reading those 2 sections to try to figure out how to do that. And it is 9:11, and it is 9:11. Yes, it is currently 9:11 a.m. and I will get back to you when I finish that. It is now 9:28. So I read the first section about the directional derivative. So again, the book is really terrible, but I was able to learn that apparently this is what I need to use to solve those problems about the directional derivative. So yeah, I think I can get that. And so now it's time to read the part about the gradient. It is now 9:33. I finished reading that second part, and basically, well, there's like a couple of different things in there, but I think the second part they were talking about, there's no questions relating to that, so I don't need to know that. So the only thing I need to know is that right there. I wrote it down here. Basically, just this formula for the gradient. And yeah, it looks pretty easy, so hopefully these questions, well, I don't know, they might be kind of involved because basically I have to take some derivatives. So this one, I have to take, a partial derivative, and then when I plug in the numbers, it might be a little bit involved there. But partial derivatives are pretty easy, and that is, again, just partial derivatives. The hard part, I think, was the fact that sometimes you have to basically convert something into the form of u equals cosine theta. Is that an I? Did I seriously write J instead of I? I meant to write I, not J. It looks a little bit like a J, but it's not really a J. That's supposed to be an I. Anyways, yeah, there's a little bit of difficult part is sometimes they'll give you something that's not in that form, so you basically convert it into that form, which is like all that stuff right there. So it could be a little involved, I'm not really sure, but I will try to do those 5 questions, and I'll get back to you when I've done that. It is now 11:07, and I finally finished doing questions 1 through 5. That took forever. I don't know how much I have to blame the textbook for it, or just the fact that the questions themselves are difficult. Yeah, they took quite a long time to do. So I had the most trouble with questions 1 and 2, because I guess I was still trying to figure out how to do that stuff. But once I figured all that stuff out, 3, 4, and 5, I got all first try. Yeah, it took me like 4 tries to get number 1 right, and then like a few tries. So number 1, I tried entering. I did the question correctly, but then I kept entering in the answer wrong. So first I entered in the number as a decimal, and they didn't accept that. And then I thought I made a mistake when I really didn't. So like I changed some negative signs around and stuff because I thought stuff. But anyways, wait, you can see the previous answers. So that is the correct answer, but they don't want you to write it as a decimal. This is not the right answer at all. I guess I saw a mistake that I thought I made, but I actually didn't. And then this is still, it's the answer, but there's not supposed to be negative signs because I kept making mistakes. And then 4, this is the right answer. Okay, so yeah. And then 2, I think I did it right. Well, the way I did it was wrong, because when you have it with this form, you have to change it to a different form from this. So, but once I figured that out, it was fine. And then 3, 4, and 5, I was able to get all of those first try. So basically all you have to do is like do some derivatives, kind of. Pretty much you just do like partial derivatives of this, and then you do a bunch of other algebraic stuff, and then you get the answer. So that's pretty much all I did for all of those questions. And there you go. So now we're on to 6. So 6 through 9, which is over section 13.7, and it's something to do with find an equation of the tangent plane to the surface at the given point, and then find a set of symmetric equations for the normal line to the surface at the given point, and then find a set of parametric equations for the tangent line to the curve of the intersection of the surfaces at the given point. So let's see what sections those are related to. So we got tangent planes and normal lines to a surface, and it's not really very easy to tell. It doesn't look like I have to read the second 2 sections, so probably just the first section, but we'll see. So I'll let you know. It's currently 11:10, and I'll let you know when I finish that. It is now 11:31. So I think I kind of understand stuff, but so it's basically just use that equation right there. But for the last 2 questions, actually I think I can probably get how to do it, but then the one thing I don't know is how to do the cross product thing. Cause like I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how. Where did they get the 0, 0, 4, 2, 12, 1? I don't know how that works. I don't know how to do that. So once I get to that part, basically what I'm gonna have to do probably is like literally look up on the internet how to do that, because I could try to look for it in the textbook, but I don't know. I have no clue where that would be found, if it's even in the textbook. So well, one way or another I will figure out how to do that, and so then I'll be able to answer all those questions. So I'll get back to you. It is 11:33, and I'll get back to you when I finish that. It is now 1:13. That took forever again. Oh my gosh, that took so long. Let's see, what happened on number 6? I don't even remember. Apparently I got the first submission I typed in was correct. I don't even feel like trying to explain that one. So this one, I kept running into I kept entering the wrong answer, but it took me forever to figure it out, but the only reason it was wrong was because I made a mistake, and this is supposed to be a minus sign instead of a plus sign. And then number 8 was one of the ones where I wasn't sure, but then it was actually very easy. I just looked at the example in the book, and it was fine, and I got the right answer first try. But number 9, oh my gosh, this one took forever. So basically, this was the one where I didn't know how to do the cross product. Luckily enough, I searched how to do a cross product matrix, and the very first result that came up explained. I accidentally pushed the power button. Anyways, it explained how to do it. So I think I've done matrices before. Well, I may have solved 3x3 matrices before, but that was like 10 billion years ago, and I don't think it was even in Calc 1. It was either when I was at Tri-State Christian School doing Calc 1, or it may have even been pre-calculus stuff. Like, this may have even been in pre-calc, but I'm not sure. But I never learned how to really, like, during my years at college, for sure, I never learned how to do that. So the book, it basically assumed that I learned how to do something that I didn't know how to do, so I had to look it up myself. But anyways, long story short, actually it's not a short story at all. So I tried doing that, but I did it completely and utterly wrong because I totally forgot. So you see how it says z equals x squared plus y squared? Well, this first step you're supposed to do is change that into, you're supposed to change that into an f x y z equals x squared plus y squared plus minus z. But I didn't do that the first time. The first time I just left it like that, and obviously I was going to get it wrong. So I did the entire problem with making a mistake at the very beginning of the process, so I had to redo the entire problem. And luckily enough, when I redid the entire problem, I got the right answer. So that's good job. So that took like 2 hours or something stupid. So yeah, I guess I don't know. Okay, so it's now 2:02. I just ate my lunch. So yeah, so the next section we're gonna go through is 13.8, which is only 2 questions, and it says find all relative extrema and saddle points of the function. Oh, wait a minute, I've done that before in calculus 1 or 2. I can't remember which. Oh, I think 2. Yeah, except that this is now multivariable functions, so different. So yeah, use the second partials test where applicable. That's gonna be such fun. So now I have to figure out how to do that by reading the section. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, I guess I'll just close this out because I kind of know how to do that now since after reading it. I'll keep this open because I often refer to this because it actually gives you the solutions to all the odd numbered problems. So sometimes I can use those to kind of help me figure stuff out. And of course, so let's see. For 13.8, we got two sections, which is absolute extrema and relative extrema, and then the second partials test, which it looks like it says that in the question, so that means it looks like we're gonna have to read both parts. So I'll get back to you. It's 2:04, and I'll get back to you when I've done that. It is now 2:35, and I've finished reading the sections. So the main takeaway from the sections is basically just these two things. How I'm supposed to find a critical point, and then how I'm supposed to use the second partials test to determine what type of critical point it is. Thankfully, very, very thankfully, there's only 2 questions for this, because this seems like these are going to be very complicated questions to try to answer. And also, I'm very thankful that they have a tutorial question, because when you click the master it thing, it takes you through a tutorial of how to do the question. So that will make my life extremely much easier than if that did not exist. So yeah, I'm gonna now try to do those 2 questions. And it is 2:36, and I'll get back to you when I'm done with that. It is now 3:10. Oh man. I did 10 and 11. 11 obviously easy because it was a tutorial, and then 10. Yeah, I kept being stupid, but I got it eventually. I guess I don't know. I don't know if I explained the questions already, but I'm just finding points. I'm finding the relative minimum and maximum points. There wasn't anything too complicated. I didn't even have to use the second partials test. Thank you very much, question, for misleading me on that. It says use the second partials test where applicable, except it's not applicable. So why did you make me write all this stuff? Are you serious? Whatever. Let's see. Next part. Find the minimum distance from this point to this plane. Find the minimum distance. Okay. Find 3 positive numbers, x, y, and z, that satisfy the given conditions. The sum is 72, and p equals x, y squared, z is a maximum. And then find 3 positive integers that satisfy the conditions. The product is 5, and sum of the squares is a minimum. And then, yay, application question. Find the room dimensions that result in a minimum cost for the paint. Oh, I've done types of those questions before, but this is probably just for like 3 dimensions instead of 2 dimensions. And then, what is the minimum cost for the paint? Wait, what? Find the dimensions that result in the minimum cost, and then what is the minimum cost? Okay. So, that's 13.9. And that is applied optimization problems. What? Wait a minute. So, but what is all this? I guess this is also considered to be an applied problem. Okay, so a method of least squares. I don't know if I'm going to have to read that. We'll just see. So it's 3:13, and I'll get back to you when I've read that stuff. It is now 3:20, and I read 13.9. So actually, basically, we're just doing the same thing as before, except now that you apply it to different situations. or basically you're doing the same thing as before, but now they're word problems, quote unquote. So, like you kind of have to come up with. So like in this example, this question, oh wait, like in these two questions, they give you they give you the function, and then you find the values. Well, in the other questions, they don't give you the function, but they give you a word problem, and then from the word problem, you have to come up with the function and then find the extreme values. So basically, that's what I'm doing for 5 more questions. So hopefully, actually, it shouldn't be that bad to do, because I don't know. Oh, thank goodness. Look at this. Master it and master it. So 2 of the questions have tutorials. Oh, man, that's so nice. That's so nice. And then the next 3 do not have a tutorial. That's fine. Actually, there's only 4 questions, not 5. So, yeah, next 4 questions. 2 of them are going to be really easy because they're tutorial questions. So, yeah. It is 3:22. I'll get back to you when I'm done with that. It is now 5:04, and I did not finish. I finished questions 12 and 13. Like, no, duh, they're tutorial questions. But they took so long because basically every tutorial question you always have to do it twice, because the tutorial question is just the same question but with different numbers. So I had to do number 12 completely twice. Like, there's no shortcuts to it. But then number 13, I was able to basically kind of get... I didn't really have to do it a second time because I just kind of took the answers and divided them, related them to 7. Long story short, I didn't really have to do 13 twice, but I had to do 12 twice. And then 14, I cannot get the answer to 14, and I haven't even started 15. So 14, here's the problem I have with 14. I keep getting, well, the first answer I got for x, so you basically have to find x, y, and z. The first answer I got for x was an extremely small number. That was a fraction, so it was obviously not the answer, because it says you're trying to find integers. And then I saw a mistake I made and corrected the mistake, and guess what? I still got a fraction for the answer. That's the answer I got, the second answer I got. 1.7 blah 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 blah. Obviously that's not the answer because it's supposed to be an integer. So I've been working on this question for like 10 billion years and I still haven't gotten the right answer. And I really don't feel like continuing to work on it. So I'm just done for today. I'm just gonna be done. Goodbye.